If your hair feels dry, breaks easily, or just simply won't retain length, your key and solution isn't spending more money on another product to add to your hair. And that may work for you, but most people don't need a new product. They need a reset. A reset is not a detox, a challenge, or a trend. A reset is removing interference, A reset is removing interference, reducing stress, calming the scalp, while allowing the hair's fiber to recover. Before hair can improve, it has to stop being overwhelmed. Most people respond to hair problems by adding more hair products, layering routines, increasing manipulation, constantly adding moisture. But your hair will never heal under constant pressure. If your hair only feels good briefly, dries out really fast, and still breaks even when it's overly moisturized, this is not a product issue. This is a stress and tension issue. The reset will always start with the scalp and the routine's stress level. When the scalp is overloaded, inflammation increases, buildup disrupts the balance of the scalp's microbiome, and your hair's follicles just don't function properly. And when your routines are way too aggressive, moisture cannot stabilize, the ends weaken way faster, and the length retention fails rather quickly. Growth and hair growth products and oils will not fix the stress and tension caused on the ends. These are two completely different things. Resets normally feel uncomfortable because they require you to slow down, doing less, trusting the process, and throwing away the things that no longer serve you, learning things that you've never learned or heard before. This causes you to break habits, and habits that you've been following for decades that have been passed down for generations are rather hard to break. These are the generational curses that we've been talking about for so long. Hair improves when stress is removed, not when it's forced. Not everyone needs the same type of reset. Some people need to calm the foundation altogether, and others need to calm the foundation and protect their length at the same time. This is why within Simple Apothecary, I teach the reset in 2 stages. If your scalp feels irritated, inflamed, or overloaded, 7-day scalp reset, also previously known as the 7-day challenge. This one focuses on reducing inflammation, clearing interference, restoring balance while creating a clear, stable, and firm foundation. And once the scalp is calm and completely reset, we have the growth cycle blueprint. The growth cycle blueprint teaches how the hair actually grows and sheds, how stress affects retention, how to protect the ends long term, and how to stop repeating the same type of damage over and over again. These are not product courses, they're educational systems. Hair doesn't improve because you've added something. Hair normally improves because you stop doing whatever that thing was that was hurting it in the first place. Resets are not about restriction, they're about recovery. If your hair feels like it changed, most likely it probably has. And the truth of the matter is, relax, calm down, because that may not be your fault. Before you chase hair growth, give your hair and scalp a chance to reset itself. That is where real progress like this starts.
The challenge actually started the challenge January 7th. So that's when I consider started, meaning I finished all of the videos. I actually trimmed some of my hair. Then I went to a stylist at JCPenney on a Sunday. She trimmed some more of my hair. And then I actually went to another stylist on a Wednesday, and she trimmed some more of my hair. So it really started that week. Yeah, I just had to get it off. And I had my first 10-week trim about 2 weeks ago. What I've seen from the challenge, just from providing feedback, is it works. My hair, I have not put anything on my scalp since January. This is now end of March, and my hair is shiny. It is thickened up. Now it's a little thinner. It looks because it's a silk press, but when I blow dry my hair, it is thickened up. I mean, people are just looking at me like, what are you doing to your hair? And I've always taken good care of my hair, but it has never thrived like this. I exercise every single day. I am, at the time of this video, 46 years old. I exercise every single day. My challengers, my sisters are like, oh, I exercise. Put your hair up like a clip. And I wear a sweatband, I wear a mesh band, and when I come home, I take it off with a scarf on. I let it dry a little bit, and then and I'm fine.
Yeah.
And my hairdresser actually told me to do that because if it gets a little thick in certain spots and you're combing it out, it was breaking off. So she's like, Cyn teaches it all in the group. So that's me. You know, I guess what I'm looking forward to is just the inches, honey, because they keep growing and the hair thickening. I do the teas that, you know, Cyn has recommended. So just from in or out, or just follow the challenge. That's it. So thanks, Cyn. Yeah. And real quick, Cyn, I will say for the newer challengers coming in, you know, in the beginning, it's tough because I'm just like, oh my God, I'm not putting no oil on my scalp. Like it's so ingrained.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, I've been natural since 2009. You know, I even had I remember the old days with Kimmy Tube and, you know, I had Organic Life Products myself thing. And so your hair, you're not going to be used to seeing your hair. I mean, they were terrible. My hair would look like poofy, but I also had a lot of shedding, and I posted in a group. Again, if you're in the replay or come later around March, just follow my post. I literally have no shed. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I actually am going to do a comparison from January where I had a lot of a minuscule amount of hair. So just kind of stay with it. Don't be discouraged. Just keep along with it. Practice on a mannequin. I got a mannequin. My husband like, oh my God, here, go to, your little mannequin or whatever. But just make sure you follow it. And if you skip a day where you didn't do the journal, I literally journal my hair. I take screenshots, pictures every single day. So now I have something to compare it to. So just remember, this is our hair, which is, our skin and our hair. And this is a reflection of your beauty. When you go places and you're not wearing wigs and weaves, everybody, women stare at you, men stare at you, even babies stare at you. Like, is that your hair? So I just want to compliment you again. So you're doing a fantastic job. And I know it is a journey. And, I know people are a little challenging online, but you just keep it up because I will tell you, it works. I love what you're doing. And I just wish you much success, continued success.
Oh,
so I'm going to jump off and I'm going to hang out with y'all today.
I love you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Hello, you guys, and welcome to Send Out in 2023. I want to show you what email helped me set the tone for 2023. Thank you so much for all the educational hair content you put out into the world. There was so much unlearning I had to do when it came to my hair. I finally got consistent with my trims, washing weekly, introduced Olaplex into my regimen, and have been in the salon once a month to get my hair done, and I've been able to retain length. People keep asking me why I take my protective styles out after like 2 to 3 weeks, and saying I'm wasting my money, but my hair says something different. These are a few more recent photos, the growth I've seen in the past few months. So the photo that you're looking at with her, in the blue shirt is from August, okay? And then the photo with her in the black shirt is her hair and her progress from December of the same exact year, okay? This is the year that we just left, and this is through her watching my videos. But let's keep going. And I got these photos also from my stylist Instagram, who has been doing my trims and maintaining my hair. My hair was in such bad shape and looks so much better about 7 months apart. So you can see in this photo her before and after picture from her progress, from August to December. So I want to say this. Some people are a little soft and gummy in the middle, and that's okay. It's okay. So I know for some people I may come off a little strong, but this is my intention. And so to end 2022, I just decided to chill. This is all I want to do. So regardless of what you think the intention is, or regardless of what you think the intention of the hair industry is, this is my intention. When I first stopped in the hair industry, when I I first retired from standing behind a chair, my goal was to be that bridge between the cosmetologist and the client, or the hairstylist and braider, barber, and the client, because there was no bridge. And even though there was no bridge in the beginning, it kind of wasn't a problem because there was a trust between the hairstylist and the customer. There was a trust there, but somewhere down the line, and we're not going to blame YouTubers, we're not going to blame anybody, because what's done is done. At some point in time, there was a divide and a separation where, for whatever reason, the client doesn't feel comfortable talking to the hairstylist and expressing what they need and what their needs and desires are. And then the hairstylist didn't really understand properly enough, or didn't have the time or the energy because of everything that comes with the hair industry. Like, you just don't have enough time to stay true to why you really got started, right? So there's no way that you can do hair and stand up from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night and do hair and prove to your clients that you know more than what they're seeing on YouTube, right? So it was like unbearable sometimes, and I began to fall out of love with doing hair, but still deeply in love with the hair industry, right? So that's why I make all of the different videos that I make. I'm gonna make sure that I leave you all with different playlists that I'm putting together. By the time you see this video, all of the playlists will be put together, so check the link in the description box, because I'm putting together a playlist of all of the videos that I've made over the year on the science of hair. By following certain maintenance tips, you make it easier for your service provider, because what's happening right now, women are, and please don't take offense to what I'm saying. Come on, dog. Everything we done been through since 2019. Come on, dog. Like, if you really take accountability and look at it, it's like, okay, what are my patterns? What have I been doing? What fads have I been following? And what changes can I make to undo the things that I've done in the past? Because even though your hair shaft won't regenerate itself, and once you mess it up, you have to cut it off, you're constantly producing new cells, okay? New hair growth cells. So your hair growth cells are not like your eggs in your uterus. Like, however many eggs you got when you born, girl, that's all you gonna get. You ain't about to keep getting new eggs, but you are gonna keep growing new hair cells. Well, she said that she got consistent with a couple of different things, right? Because at the end of the day, it is all about your patterns and routines. Whenever you go to a hairstylist, a cosmetologist, braider, barber, most likely, unless you get a different hairstyle or a different type of cut or a different type of braided style, they're going to follow the same exact pattern and the same exact procedure every single time. Hairstylists, professional hairstylists, barbers, and all of those people, everybody in the beauty industry, we are not constantly changing our technique day by day, week by week. No, it is through proper routines and proper maintenance that you are able to retain length, because the problem is not hair growth. Everybody grows hair. Everybody, even your dogs, your cats, everybody grows hair, but everyone is not able to retain length. And the difference in length retention is widely attributed to the way that the hair is styled, okay? You'll notice that a lot of people with straighter hair, they're able to retain length more. And why is that? Well, that is because they don't keep their hair braided for long periods of time. Is that because they're better? No, it is not. They can't really keep their hair braided for long periods of time because the size of their follicle is different, right? And and the hair shaft is straighter, so it's easier for the oil to travel down the hair shaft, right? So they can't have their hair braided for long periods of time. So that type of mechanical damage isn't an objective. So they're able to retain that length that they're growing every year. But when we have different practices, right? And Mind you, I think a lot of people are afraid of trims because they are confused between a trim and a haircut. I like to say a trim is like getting your ends dusted. Like you literally, most of my clients will be like, did you cut anything? Did you trim? And it's like you barely see hair on the floor. You don't see hair on the floor. It's like fairy dust, because all I'm doing is going through and polishing and making sure that there are no splits. I'm simply going through, polishing the ends, checking for splits, because once the ends split, they are not going to come back together. That's all a trim is for. Regular maintenance. If you are going to somebody who cuts a lot of your hair off, there's one or two things going on. You either have had poor maintenance practices, and most of the hair that you've retained is now needing to be cut off. And most of the time that's because you have different practices, like wash and goes, or not washing the hair properly and consistently, right? And so then her next thing was washing her hair weekly. So I'm not saying that you have to wash your hair weekly, to each his own, do your own thing. I wash my hair weekly when it's out, and when I have it braided like it is now under this unit, I wash my hair every 2 weeks, right? But I do not sleep in my units. I take them off every night, and every 3 days I run across my scalp with a cotton ball that is slightly dampened with rose water. And what this does, it helps to balance the natural pH level of my scalp and hair shaft as I remove different fatty deposits, excess yeast, and things of that nature from my scalp. But guess what? Even if it took me 5 hours to braid my hair, if my scalp starts burning or itching in any place, I'm taking the braids down and I'm going to wash my hair and I'm going to blow dry it, right? Olaplex is not something that you need, but it's a tool, right? Just like you don't need a stove to cook, you don't need pots and pans, but it's nice to have it. You could always do it like they did it in the old days and just get a little bit of wood outside, get a little bit of wood and some rocks, girl, go ahead and cook you something delicious. But you don't do that. You make upgrades, right? So that's all I'm telling you to do with your hair. And the thing is, this woman here, she has followed these simple, very, very simple steps. And within my 7-day challenge, I break down all of the different things that I teach you guys to do, because I know, like, I have hundreds of videos here on my channel, and to really expect you, I mean, you can trust and believe, go ahead, you can go ahead and watch all of the videos, and I still recommend you to do that either way, so you can understand the science behind the simplistic routine that I give you, right? But that's what my 7-day challenge is. My 7-day challenge is, in less than 30 minutes, I go over a very, very easy to understand routine that you can follow. You also get PDFs that you can go ahead and download, but please remember, whatever email and password you use upon purchase is the same exact email and password that you need to use when you log in to the 7-day challenge. Also, please remember to join our group as soon as you sign up. Join it right away. And I really recommend go through the challenge step by step, day by day. All you need to start the challenge is a shampoo, a conditioner. You're gonna need a clarifying shampoo, all right, and a leave-in conditioner, a heat protectant if you decide to use one, or a foam wrap, and a serum. You could get a butter for length retention if need be, but all of these things are broken down and put into their proper place and proper perspective inside of the 7-day challenge. The 7-day challenge is not like, oh, you're gonna grow hair in 7 days, but it is putting in order like the different steps that you should take to be able to get the results that this woman got, okay? Because I'm not trying to sell you oh, do this and your hair will be.
This is what I get for wearing wigs every single day of my life for this past 2 years. Like, literally, I'm a wig influencer, so I have to wear wigs. Like, I don't have no other choice but to wear wigs. But my tan line is crazy. Like, it's crazy as fuck. I need keep pushing down. I don't know why it keeps coming down. I don't even know what to do. Maybe I need to stop wearing wigs, but I need to make money, so I can't stop wearing wigs.
I used to wear my hair straight. I used to just probably get a dusting every 3.5 months. It really was retaining length. It was healthy. Now that I've converted to just being fully curly, I noticed that my hair is very dry. It's breaking more. And I think that that choice just to be fully curly while not doing the work to keep it healthy and do the weekly deep conditioning and the protective styling has really impacted the health of my hair. So what you're gonna see today is going to be a result of that. Just me kind of neglecting it since turning into a curly girl only.
So you used to get protective styles?
I did. I got weaves, I got some braids, but I feel like the straight hair was my protective style in a sense.
Oh,
because
I see what
it was
you're saying.
it was long, it was healthy, I was going regularly.
Remember how
I used to wear my hair straight. I used to just probably get a
is the game changer. You're going to take this little halo with that fishing line and you're just going to lay it right in that spot that you just created. And you're left with big curly hair and not a lot of effort. You see my hair right now. Fine, short, brittle, broken. Not that good. Put on a halo, okay? Clear over, brush it together. Wait. There we go. Look at that, like you're kidding. Instant, like, it's insane. The hair is so soft and manageable, and my natural hair is like a salt and pepper, so it's very hard to match, and I actually think this matches really well. It gives my hair some length, super easy to put on, literally took me seconds.
Now, when we talk about hair extensions or weaves or wigs and things of that nature, we demonize it, right? And we look at weaves and wigs and extensions as something that only Black women wear or only women who have damaged or short hair end up wearing. But the truth of the matter is, that is a lie. The majority of women that have really, really long, healthy hair, like the woman that you're looking at right now, they wear different wigs and protective styles. And every woman that I know that has long hair like hers, she's going to take that wig off at night and comb through her hair. These are the differences. But then when we think about the first woman that we watched in the video, she wears lace so much and she glues it on that it has now begun to strip off layers of her skin and push her hairline back. But when we're talking about the hair growth regrowth process, right, I want to shine a spotlight on one of my gurus. I do this because I want to show you not just what can happen if you sign up for the Growth Cycle Blueprint or the 7-day hair growth challenge, but I want to show you that it's possible for you to regrow your hair. So right now, what you're looking at is inside the 7-day challenge group, right? And this is from what she had to say in 2024. Now, I have a full video on her process. Links will be in the description box below. Go check those playlists and it will break her journey down even more. But this is the amount of shedding that she experienced, and she was used to experiencing a lot more shedding than that. And this is how bodyful and flowy her hair was. She's like, oh my God, Cyn, I can't believe that the hair growth process is this simple. And that is all the shedding that she had. Well, in the past, she used to have globs and globs of hair. This is how her edges used to look. At first, she used to have a hairline that was receding, thinning, going back, just like the first clip that we watched. And a lot of her patterns had to change. I also want you to note that if you are inside of any of my courses to try to record and repurpose any of my content, it's all copywritten, so I'll sue you. Anyway, so I want to show you her before and after. You can clearly see through the adjustments to her patterns and routines, her edges thickened up. No, she did not have a magical oil or magical grease or anything like that. No, she just followed the science. She said 1 year and 9 months of keeping it simple. If you think Cyn is making anything up, she's not. I can't afford to go to the cosmetologist, but doing exactly as Cyn says has been so helpful. I'm hoping to have mid back length by next fall. And for the first time, I don't feel delusional for expecting that. Thank you so much, Cyn. Cannot wait to join the Growth Cycle Blueprint. And then she tagged last year's post. Now, all of my gurus, the Growth Cycle Blueprint, and the 7-day challenge, make sure you RSVP to our next webinar. If you are not within the 7-day challenge or the Growth Cycle Blueprint, you won't have access to this. So if you get to this point anyway, other than me sending you the link personally, I'm gonna block you from my website. Anyway, I love you so much. This is another success story that we have. Now, her full 2 videos are going to be in the description box below. This is a woman, this is a woman who has not paid me any money whatsoever. She is not a part of the 7-day challenge. She is not a part of the Growth Cycle Blueprint. I don't think she's purchased any ebooks. She is strictly following the things that I say here on my channel. She's been following me for years. At first, didn't really want to hear what I had to say, and then began to say, you know what, let me go ahead and make these adjustments. And her bald spots are filling in. Are they completely full overnight? Absolutely not. That's not how it works. But they are filling in, and I can promise you, we're going to give it another 2 months because she had to make a slight adjustment that I'm not going to share with you until our next re-up, right? Until our next update. But she ended up needing to make a swift adjustment, and this was the thing that was keeping her hair from thickening up in the middle. So soon you'll see an even bigger difference, even though you can clearly see the difference in density from September 5th to October 6th, which is today. Now, I put October 6th because that's the day that I'm doing this video, doing this voiceover. But the day that she sent me the picture was like October 4th, October 5th. But I'm not going back and re-editing all of those. So just take note. It shouldn't say October 6th. It should say like October 4th, October 5th. But I digress. These are the things that I want y'all to understand when I'm on my channel and I'm saying don't use oils, don't use butters, don't use greases, and I tell you not to do those things. It's for a reason. I can promise you the things that you have been doing are the reason that you're in the position that you're in. And in our next video, we're going to dive deep into one of your favorite YouTubers that is now saying all of the same things that I've been telling you guys for decades. And she's blaming this miniaturization and all of these things on her hormones or on her diet, where in reality, it's all based on the patterns and routines that you all have been following because she told you to. So these are things that I really want you to unpack. It's been about 6 days since my last video, and that's simply because, girl, I just needed a break and I wanted to focus on my clients that pay me quite a bit of money. So I wanted to focus on them. And when I came back and got ready to start filming again, I checked inside to see what my gurus were getting into, and this is what I saw. So I want to ask you, right? What are the patterns and routines that you feel comfortable with letting go of, right? What are the patterns and routines that you know are no longer serving you? Because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. If you at one point were wearing wigs on a regular basis, like on a daily, everyday basis for over a year, or let's say over 6 months, and then you decide to just stop and let go, please don't expect that that next week or those next 2 weeks or maybe even that next month will be, you know, just the thing or the time frame where all of your hair begins to grow back. So when I've made videos like 2-strand twists are not protective styles, this beauty right here is a great example of this. She's locking her hair up, and in this video, she's basically being funny, saying like, oh my God, I can't stand having my hair looking like this. She wants to do a retwist, but she's trying to wait a month, right? Why is her hair going to lock up? If you pay attention, in between where her 2-strand twist is, there's a lot of frizz, and where those twists are, right, the gaps in between the hair of those 2-strand twists, the hair that's frizzy is going to go in between those lines and begin to mat. That is how you get locks. But for whatever reason, we will still argue that 2-strand twists are the thing that everyone should wear. And I came across a video of a woman with really long hair, and she does 2-strand twists. So you guys think, okay, it's time for me to do 2-strand twists, and then my hair is going to be long like hers, not understanding that this woman is taking those twists down and combing them daily. And the ones who don't suffer from extreme mechanical damage, hair weathering, and follicle miniaturization, amongst a couple of other things. I received a comment that really opened my eyes to something, and in our next video we're diving deep into hair weathering, follicle miniaturization, and how all of the YouTubers that you've been following are now in this place, and how you're there too. And then I'm going to break down exactly how to reverse it. These are the things that you have to understand, but without you being honest, you can't have accountability. So let's have a moment of transparency in the comments. Let's talk. Hurry up. Come on, girl.